Well, Dave, this Syracuse team has never won in Tallahassee. They do have the signature win this year, though, against the Clemson Tigers, and they come into this game with one of the best quarterbacks in all the ACC. It is the junior Eric Dungey.
6'5" and 169 pounds. For the freshman, wants to uncork it down the center of the field. He's got a receiver. It's a touchdown. Florida State. Quan Murray gets behind that orange secondary. His third interception of the season. He uncorks it down the middle of the field. He's got Ricky June trying to run away from the Hokie D. June looking for the pylon. It's a touchdown. Georgia Tech. Pittsburgh, first down. Inside their own 10. Hall breaks free. Darren Hall trying to outdistance the defenders. The sprint to the end zone. Darren Hall beats them all. Touchdown, Pittsburgh. Lamar Jackson approaching 11,000 career yards. Jackson breaks away. Jackson headed to the end zone. Touchdown, Lamar Jackson of 41 yards. Third and long, and Bryant wants to go deep again. Air under it, inside the 10, and caught to the end zone, and a touchdown. Deion Kane pulls it in for the Tigers. Samuels, the cut at the 15. Samuels sheds the tackler and walks into the end zone. Touchdown, Jalen Samuels. Thanks, Katie. Into November we go as teams are working toward being bowl eligible. One of the best quarterbacks in the ACC, Eric Dungey, leads Syracuse into Tallahassee to take on Derwin James and the Seminoles. It's the ACC Network Game of the Week presented by Mellow Mushroom. Syracuse and Florida State with the Noles working on a 9-game winning streak in this series. So great to have you with us this afternoon for our football game. Tom Werme along with Dave Archer. DJ Shockley will join us from the sidelines in just a moment. Well, Dave, this Syracuse team has never won in Tallahassee. They do have the signature win this year, though, against the Clemson Tigers, and they come into this game with one of the best quarterbacks in all the ACC. It is the junior Eric Dungey.
Tom, I love this kid. The first thing that jumps off at the tape about this guy is how tough he is, tough as nails. 7th in the country in total offense. He can throw it all over the yard. 9 300-yard games. He's coming off a 100-yard rushing performance 2 weeks ago against Miami. Now, he's got some guys to sling it to. They're 2 of the best in the country. Steve Ishmael will play on the outside. He leads the team in receptions. Big-time player vertically down the field, and his running mate will play in the slot. That's Irvin Phillips. Phillips catches the ball all over the field. This is a kid that caught 17 balls last time we saw him against NC State.
A couple of record-breaking receivers for the Syracuse Orange. For Florida State, Dave, they are not used to this. In fact, they have not won a home game this season, and they're coming off a tough road loss at Boston College last week.
Tom, athletes all over the field still for Florida State, and they're led by one of the best in the country at the safety position, Derwin James. You call him a safety, he plays everywhere. He's the thumper. He'll hit you big in the box. He also has the ability to run you down in space, and oh, by the way, he can play the football. He's an outstanding cover guy, as seen right here, and he makes the interception. He also has a ton of talent around him. When you talk about Josh Sweat, one of the great edge players in college football, and Tavares McFadden, who had 8 interceptions a year ago, an All-American in 2016. They need this Florida State team to step back up to the level they had before. DJ, Syracuse is excited about their defense. How about the 2 seniors at linebacker?
Yeah, those 2 seniors are big players for them. They're going to be sideline to sideline, arguably the best 2 linebackers in the country in Paris Bennett and Zaire Franklin. Paris Bennett, last 4 out of 5 games, he's had 10-plus tackles. Zaire Franklin, for a career, 200-plus tackles, and he's the first 3-time captain in Syracuse history. That tells you about the leadership he brings to this defense. Expect both of these guys to have a huge impact against this Florida State offense today.
Yeah, they are really excited about the way they're playing defense. It's dramatically better than it was a year ago, Tom.
Doak Campbell Stadium ready to go for Florida State and Syracuse. It is the 11th all-time meeting. Florida State leads the series 9-1. That lone Syracuse win came back in 1966 in Central New York. Now one of the great traditions in college football, Osceola and Renegade ready to plant the spear and get us rolling on the ACC Network Game of the Week, presented by Mellow Mushroom. Florida State looking for its first home win of the year with a 2-5 record, 2-4 in conference play. And they've lost 2 in a row to Louisville and Boston College in succession, but they welcome in the orange this afternoon.
Yeah, Tom, this is going to be a tough test for Florida State defensively. This is an offense for Dino Babers. It's operating on all cylinders. When they don't throw the ball, they fed 4 interceptions against Miami 2 weeks ago, but still rushed for over 260 yards. So it's a two-way go in this offense. So looking forward to watching that offense for Syracuse operate.
Second year for Dino Babers on that Syracuse sideline. 6th overall as a head coach. Now time for our Carolina Ford keys to the game with Dave Archer.
Yeah, we talked to Dino Babers and talked about what do you need to do. He says we need to start fast. We're playing great in the second half and really playing well there. We're getting off to slow starts and digging ourselves a hole. Look for Syracuse to get off to a better start. And for Florida State, when you talk to the coaches, they got a mistake here, a little mistake there, something bugging them there. Take care of the little things. You're too talented to be where you are record-wise. Come out and play to your capabilities, and Florida State will be fine.
Florida State, Dave, won the toss, elected to defer. Jimbo Fisher, who's won a national championship here at Florida State back in 2013, his 8th year on the sideline. He is 4-0 against the Orange. The ball's in the air, and we're rolling on the ACC network. Sean Riley watches it sail over his head and through the end zone. So we'll see the Orange on offense to start our football game this afternoon. Time for the Food Line Impact Players. Syracuse on the offensive side of the ball.
Yeah, we talked about the quarterback leading rusher. Dante Strickland will get a tribute on that running game as well. You see he had over 100 yards against Miami as well 2 weeks ago. And Service, the center, a freshman, has done an excellent job. He's got a freshman to his left as well. They've done a nice job protecting Dungy. We talk about Dungy, 7th in the country in total offense. Outstanding player, and boy, is he tough.
78 degrees as we get started in Tallahassee. It's Phillips trying to string it out, and he gets stopped by Florida State. Loss of 1.
Yeah, this is where Syracuse wants to speed things up. They've been averaging the snap at right around 21 seconds. They'd like to go a little bit faster than that. This is a team that likes to throw a lot of plays. They're averaging about 86 plays, 87 plays a game.
That number of plays, 4th most in the Football Bowl subdivision for the Orange. Second down for Dungy. Lets it go quickly over the middle. It is caught. Irvin Phillips makes the grab, and he got 6 yards.
Yeah, and important to tackle in space. Excellent job by Kyle Myers to make the tackle in the slot. That's something you have to do against Syracuse, though. A lot of short passes. You must tackle in space if you're Florida State.
15 straight games with a reception for Phillips. 3rd down for the Orange. Another quick release from Dungy, and it's enough for a first down near the 40. Phillips again is the target, and they got 9.
Yeah, Phillips is saying, fill me up, man. They can't cover me. He's in that slot area we talked about. Phillips, outstanding, understands coverage, does a nice job of slipping inside Myers there.
From its own 39 for the Orange, this is Dungy trying to go up the middle. Got 2 Food Line Impact Players for the Noles.
Matt Thomas will be one of those guys that will shadow Dungy when he runs the football. And, of course, Brian Burns, outstanding edge player. Can they hold up against the run? Had a tough time against the BC run a week ago. Let's see if they can hold up against Syracuse trying to run the ball right at him.
Dave Burns also big on special teams. 3 career block punts for Burns, including one last year in the victory against Syracuse at the Carrier Dome. 2nd and 9. Strickland. Roadblock at the 40. There is no gain.
I think it's the defense that took offense to what happened to him a week ago. Didn't play with a ton of energy defensively, and really BC got after him physically, ran the ball on him. You can see there was a resolve, and talking to coaches this week, Charles Kelly in particular, resolve on this defensive side to get back to playing Florida State football defensively.
Another 3rd down for the Orange. They converted their first one on this drive from the 41. 3rd and 9 for Dungy in Syracuse.
This is where Florida State can mix things up. You see a lot of players standing up, a lot of different changes, looks.
Dungy has the time, a little touch on it. Derwin James went up to get it, and he's picked it off.
Well, Tommy fools him. Derwin James is one of those guys that was standing up in the line of scrimmage before the snap, and this is what he does. He's got such great speed. He disguises the play. Now he's going to bail out and take the wheel route. He just jumps the route of the back. Strickland, and there he is. The All-American makes a huge play. missed all of last year with an injury. Had a tremendous freshman season and a big play here early. And this is something Florida State has not been able to do, is turn the other team over. Came in with only 5 turnovers on the year.
First interception of the year for Derwin James, the sophomore from Haines City, Florida. Noles on offense with excellent field position after the interception. It's Blackman.
When you look at James Blackman, obviously forced into service because of the injury to DeAndre Francois in the opening game against Alabama. And the young kid's played good. I mean, you're talking about this kid playing high school football last year. He's done a nice job of trying to absorb what Jimbo wants him to do. They've pared the playbook down a little bit for him to match what he can do. Not a great runner, so interesting they'd run the football right there. That's not something they've done with him very much.
Out of Glades Central High School, Belle Glade, Florida. Second down after he got 7 on that rush for James Blackman, the freshman. Akers should have first down yardage near the 42 of Syracuse. The Food Line impact players for the Noles on offense.
You just saw in Cam Akers, he was the #1 running back in the country last year, coming out of high school, now playing here, trying to replace Dalvin Cook and Patrick with the injury. And Auden Tate, huge receiver on the outside, 6'5", 225. He is playing a little bit banged up, so have to continue to watch what he can do. This is a wide receiver core, Tom, that's been banged up all year long.
This Florida State offense struggled just over a week ago on the road at Boston College. Just 213 total yards for Florida State. First and 10, they swing it out into the flat. Akers makes a cut to the 42, but dragged down. Zaire Franklin had a piece of him. There is a penalty marker on the field, thrown at the 40. Gary Patterson, our referee this afternoon.
Let me take a look at the Food Line impact players for Syracuse defensively. Chris Slayton is one of those guys up front. Does a good job of creating some pressure. See 21.5 career tackles for loss. And Rodney Williams, he'll play a big role in this game. Roaming the middle back there, trying to seek out some of these outstanding Florida State wide receivers. Last year had a big day. Had 8 tackles and a sack in a loss to Florida State up in the Carrier Dome.
45-14, the win for Florida State on the road last year. That was the Dalvin Cook show, Dave. 4 rushing touchdowns for Cook.
This is something that Florida State's had a tough time with, is overcoming some of their mistakes. Major penalty here. Let's see if Florida State can overcome that on the offensive side of the ball.
They gave it to Rasul for 2 yards up the middle. Austin Valdez getting in the way for the Orange.
Talking to Jimbo Fisher about his young quarterback and what do you do? He said the first thing that you know about him is he's really tough. And I said, why do you have tough guys at quarterback? You Jameis Winston, and you got DeAndre Francois, and you got this kid. He goes, we coach him. That's something we coach. We want tough guys playing quarterback for him. That's what we look for when we're looking for that quarterback. What is it in his DNA? That's what we're looking for. And they have a tough guy at quarterback, seems like all the time. This guy's slightly built, Tom, but he's still tough as nails.
6'5" and 169 pounds for the freshman. Wants to uncork it down the center of the field. He's got a receiver. It's a touchdown. Florida State. Naquan Murray gets behind that Orange secondary.
Well, exactly what the doctor ordered for an offense. It's averaging just under 18 points a game. Big time throw under pressure by Blackman right down the pipe to his speed guy, Murray. Murray running the deep post right, and you see how excited the true freshman at quarterback is. Boy, it's been hard coming, tough sledding for him to try to make big plays down the field. He got one right there.
Ricky Aguayo has the extra point. Dave, 51 yards on the connection for the TD.
Florida State gets a turnover to start the game. Derwin James makes a play, and how about Naquan Murray from Blackman? The Noles early.
ACC football is brought to you by Mellow Mushroom, Out of This World Pizza. By your local Toyota dealers. Toyota, let's go places. By Progressive Insurance. And by Coke.
Jimbo Fisher's team getting on the scoreboard first as they come in to Bobby Bowden Field at Doak Campbell Stadium. They strike for 51 yards and a touchdown pass.
Now, a couple things here. Tampa, too. Is he getting enough depth, or is this safety supposed to get back? Because Murray is going to split the middle of the field on the post route from the slot. You see Bennett trying to get some depth, but he never gets there. It's an easy throw and catch to Murray right down the pipe. So blown coverage right there by Syracuse.
Once again, that kickoff through the end zone. Logan Tyler, and there is no return. Dave, let's go around the ACC. It's presented by Mattress Firm. The 4 other games later today.
Yeah, it's a great slate of games. Obviously, the big one is later. The 2 big ones later on: Clemson, NC State, and of course Virginia Tech, Miami tonight in South Florida. Those 2 will kind of set the table potentially what it's going to be in Charlotte. But how about Wake Forest going to Notre Dame? Notre Dame better be buckled up for Dave Clawson's team.
Notre Dame leads Wake in that series 3-0 as the Deacs go on the road. Zach Mahoney has committed the game for the Orange. They got 1 on that first play. They have struggled, though, when they allow the opponent to score first. Syracuse 0-4 this season when their opponent puts points on the board before them. 2nd and 9. Syracuse just beyond the 25-yard line. Mahoney with a forward flip to Strickland.
Well, Tom, things changed dramatically for Syracuse with Mahoney in the game. He is not a run threat like Dungy is, and we're still trying to kind of figure out what's going on. We got DJ on that, DJ Shockley, trying to figure out what's going on with Eric Dungy. But Mahoney, not the runner that Dungy is, does hold the records. He had counted for 7 touchdowns in a game you and I did last year against Pitt. So he does have the ability to ring it up, but you got to protect him.
Yeah, 137 points, Dave, between Pittsburgh and Syracuse in regulation, the most in a regulation game in the Football Bowl subdivision. Dungy did not play in this game last year. Mahoney's in there. That pass is on the money at the 35. Zach Mahoney slinging it, and he hits Ishmael. First down, Orange.
Well, this is the matchup you're looking for. McFadden against Ishmael on the outside. Good job, good timing by Mahoney to get it out as soon as Ishmael came out of his break. Excellent throw and catch and a first down.
Yeah, Dungy was dealing with injury last year and did not participate in the game at the Dome between the Noles and Orange. They'll take Strickland into the line. Second effort. Just past the 40 for Strickland. He got 1.
So far, Florida State's been extremely stout against the run, which you would expect. They embarrassed in the performance a week ago. Obviously, outstanding job by Steve Adazio's team to run the football right at them. So Florida State trying to swell up against the run here early. And when you do that, now you force Syracuse into some uncomfortable 3rd down situations.
5th game in which Mahoney has seen action. He keeps it just beyond the 40. He stopped for maybe a yard. Josh Sweat on the tackle. So Dungy went into the locker room. Now he's back out.
Well, he took a shot. He ran the ball on that design quarterback draw. Took a shot. There he is on the sideline. Had his shoe off. They evidently went in and took a look at his ankle. Now going to kind of gear back up. But it's Mahoney's job right now.
Dave hits his man near the 50 to Urban Phillips. 9 yards.
Excellent throw. Mahoney is last year, Tom, you mentioned he played in about 10 games a year ago. The game we saw played extremely well against Pitt. Completed 60% of his passes a year ago.
Yeah, 5 TD passes and a couple of rushing touchdowns in the losing effort against Pittsburgh for Mahoney. Out of the pocket, right side near the 40, and that's incomplete. Looking for Sean Riley. Levante Taylor was back there defensively for the Seminoles.
Yeah, long throw there. Wide side of the field. Just short hopped it in there. Running a lot of stop routes, trying to threaten coming off the ball, threaten deep, then set it down.
Mahoney to the 45 of Florida State to Urban Phillips for 7 yards.
Yeah, and I'm not sure there's a guy that understands coverage, Tom, better than Urban Phillips. He does an outstanding job of reading man and zone. He's got a lot of option routes to the inside. Mentioned he caught 17 passes against NC State in a game you and I did earlier in the year. Just love his ability to find those open areas. And Syracuse working at the tempo they want to work at.
Yeah, he's up to 65 catches for the season. Orange again deflected and nearly picked at the 30. Off with a deflection. Stanford Samuels had it end up right in his face all of a sudden.
Yeah, trying to get the ball to Riley on the inside, and Derwin James is the guy that was there that batted the ball, or was there in on the ball.
Missed it by that much. Syracuse will keep possession, but they must punt now on 4th down.
DJ Matthews, deep to receive from his own.
DJ Matthews, deep man for Florida State. Looks like there's a timeout on the field. And Florida State has taken the timeout.
Tallahassee, Florida on a football Saturday. They're ready here in Seminole land. Are you? 7-0 Noles.
You're watching ACC football presented by Mellow Mushroom. Syracuse has come back out of the field, going for it on 4th down for the Orange. Nobody goes for it more than the Orange. This is their 26th time, but it will be the short little pooch punt. Takes an Orange roll near the 5. That was Zach Mahoney.
How about that? Mahoney with a little pooch punt.
43-yard punt.
Yeah, Dino shows his offense on the field. It gets Florida State to put their defense back out there. No punt return unit or anybody back to catch the ball. And nice job by Mahoney to execute. You do all that, Tom. You can draw it up and say, okay, we're going to do the little pooch punt. Now you got to execute. Nice job by Mahoney. Drop it down near the 5-yard line.
Our 1st and 10 line presented by Cookout, serving fresh char-grilled hamburgers and 40 fancy milkshakes. Much longer field for the Noles to deal with this time around in their 2nd possession. Akers off the line. Out of bounds just beyond the 10-yard line. Dragged out by Paris Bennett, the leading tackler on this Orange defense. He got 6.
So, Tom, we talked about Cam Akers, #1 recruit at the running back position in the country coming out. And obviously huge shoes to fill when he's talking about Dalvin Cook moving on to the National Football League. But they love this kid. He's got some of those special qualities.
Akers again, diving for 1st down yardage. Swept out by Valdez, but the sticks are going to roll for Florida State after a 7-yard gain from Akers.
The key here, Tom, is think about how these guys, the legacy of the players these guys follow. You talk about Dalvin Cook, Warwick Dunn. I mean, the list goes. Devontae Freeman. It's unbelievable. Shock the guys that come in here to Florida State and the roles they have to fill with the legends that have moved on.
Yeah, it's unbelievable the type of backs they get. They all come in and they produce really well, and they've been able to step in and play big-time football. As you can see, James Blackman completes a nice pass over to the right side. But these backs are special in their own right. To be able to come here and be able to do it all, not just in the run game, but you see them on 3rd down, be able to catch the football and also be successful in the pass protection game, which is the biggest part of being a true freshman, and then also being a back here at Florida State.
Yeah, I think that's the weight of what it is to play at a program like this, and obviously these guys welcome it. They want that opportunity. That's why Cam Akers is here. He can't wait to put his name in the record book, and he's getting that opportunity to do it as a freshman.
2nd and 5 for Florida State. Blackman.
Haven't seen a lot of this, Tom, where Blackman is the feature runner on plays. He's taken such a beating this year in throwing the football that they really haven't exposed him to the run game a ton. But already here in the 1st quarter, we've seen a couple of design runs. Outstanding athlete is James Blackman. Considered a pocket passer coming out of high school. You mentioned it out of Glade Central, who for 2,500 yards and 14 touchdowns a year ago as a senior. They really kind of forced into service. They didn't think he was going to be playing with DeAndre Francois returning as a redshirt sophomore.
Just 34% on 3rd down, the worst in the conference, and swallowed up by Devin M. Butler is Blackman for a loss of 11.
Now Butler is a guy they like to bring from that slot area, and here he comes. Nobody accounts for him, and Blackman certainly didn't see him. Freshman quarterback did not see the extra rusher coming off the edge, and that's why Syracuse has been so good on 3rd down. #2 in the country in getting you off the field on 3rd down.
Riley ready for the punt. Tyler from his 1. Riley standing at his 38-yard line. Comes up to meet it at the 46. Gets away from a couple of Knowles. Cut at the 43 and inside the 40. Sean Riley with a nifty return. The punt was 39 yards. The return 16 for Riley. Knowles in front of the Orange 7-0, and we'll be back after a word from your local ACC station.
Welcome to Tallahassee, Florida, full of sun and Seminole football.
And Bojangles' famous chicken and biscuits. It's bow time! Woo!
It's bow time at Bojangles. Grab a big bow box, feed the whole group with Bojangles chicken, biscuits, fixins, and tea. Bojangles and Dr. Pepper giving you a chance to win a VIP trip for 2 to the 2017 Dr. Pepper ACC Football Championship. Enter at theacc.com/BowVIP. December 2nd, as the Syracuse training staff working on that ankle of Eric Dungy, Dave.
Yeah, he must have really turned it pretty good, and Mahoney now will start again. Mahoney looked pretty sharp when he came in, Tom. Excellent run there.
Handing off to Mo Neal for 8 yards as we check in with DJ.
Talk about Dungy being on the sideline. We just got a report from the staff that he's looking at his foot, and he's questionable right now. Not much, but if I get more, I'll let you guys know.
DJ, thank you. That one knocked down by Sweat, who deflected that pass attempt from Zach Mahoney.
He got kind of rolled up right there, Tom. Kind of a strange angle. His foot goes down. Took him out of the game, went in and took a look at it, and now he's over on the side. They're trying to tape it and kind of give him some relief for whatever pain he was feeling on the foot. They take the foot up first, and now they're spatting the shoe to try to give him a little bit of support.
3 for 5 on 3rd down for the Orange. 5th in the conference in 3rd down conversions. They won't get this one. Mo Neal swallowed by the Knoll defense.
Well, they've got some stout guys in the middle, and it's led by Derek Noddy. Noddy, number 91, is the guy that's really going to swell up in the middle and kind of make the play bounce to the left for Strickland, but no place to go because Burns is waiting on him as well on the edge. This has been a much different Florida State defense against the run here early in the game.
It's going to be a 48-yard field goal attempt by Cole Murphy. 55 career field goals for Murphy. It's a low liner. No good. Cole Murphy.
And that's an excellent stop by Florida State's defense. Short field situation with the punt return by Riley. Florida State's defense comes out and shuts the door.
So a miss from 48 yards for Murphy as we go back to Charlotte.
For our Hardee's update, we are looking ahead to NC State hosting Clemson in the Textile Bowl.
Can the Wolfpack offense penetrate the Clemson defense? 7th in the nation in total defense. We'll find out this afternoon. Florida State looking to get victory number 3.
A top 20 matchup for our Hardee's update. That one kicks off at 3:30. Tom, Dave?
Wolfpack trying to snap a 5-game losing streak in that series. Blackman, improvisation, and tackle by Zaire Franklin. 3 yards for Blackman.
Yeah, good pressure by Syracuse to force Blackman off his spot. Take a look at the pressure. See the linebackers flowing. Take a look down here. There's probably his best shot right there on the in route. Might be disguised by the linebacker standing in the way. Blackman does the next best thing. Takes care of the ball. Did not put it into coverage you couldn't see. Pulls it down and picks up a nice gain on 1st down.
2nd and 7 for Florida State.
Minimize the damage as a young quarterback. Nice job by Blackman right there.
Flips it out. Akers. Akers past the 45. Dragged down shy of midfield. But it's Cam Akers on the run. Williams and Bennett had to combine on the stop. 15 yards.
Yeah, a little freeze option pitch to the outside. And look at the 2 guys on the outside blocking the receivers. That's what it takes to run the ball in the 2nd and 3rd level as receivers block it down the field. Cam Akers, the benefactor there, came in averaging just under 5 yards a carry for the freshman.
Led the team in rushing just over a week ago at Boston College with 42 yards on 18 carries. And Blackman taken down. Alton Robinson, number 94, for the Orange. A loss of 7 for Florida State.
Gonna bootleg off of the play fake to Akers, and right now Robinson right in the backfield avoids the block there and puts the quarterback on the ground. Shock, nice play by the Syracuse defense.
Nice play by the defense, but one thing as a young guy, when you come off that bootleg, the first thing you must do is get your head around right now. He never got his head around to see that defender. If he sees him, maybe he could kind of fall away from the throw and get rid of him, but because he wasn't able to get his head around, lost yardage play.
Blackman's pass complete to Murray. He spins at the moment of impact. Only one after all that work, Dave.
Yeah, it's a tunnel screen. They're trying to set up Murray, who's got great speed, come to the inside. Take a look at Zaire Franklin. The great linebackers on this team does a nice job of tracking the football. Really good job by the defense in a whole. They sprung the play out, allowed Franklin to get back in on the play, but that was a key defense, total defensive stop to string Murray out.
Only 15 seconds on the clock. Could be the final play of the quarter. 3rd and long for Florida State. Blackman. Akers taken down at the 42. Open field stop for the Orange. Scoop Bradshaw. And a loss of 1, and that's the last play of the first quarter, Dave Archer.
Excellent job on the perimeter.
So Florida State had the big touchdown pass of 51 yards. It's our only scoring in the first quarter. Second quarter straight ahead on the ACC Network. Our first quarter stats are brought to you by the North Carolina Education Lottery, celebrating 11 years and over $5 billion raised for education. To learn more, visit nclottery.com.
Now the Derwin James interception for Florida State ended up in the short field opportunity and the long touchdown by Murray. Remember, Florida State overcame a 10-yard holding penalty in that to get that touchdown. Syracuse had one short field, Tom, on the punt return by Riley. Were not able to cash it in, missed the field goal.
Second receiving touchdown of the season for Naquan Murray. Tyler the punt for Florida State. Riley ranging to his right. We'll watch it bounce and roll for Florida State. And inside the 5. Down at the 4. 55-yard punt. Logan Tyler. The college football playoff rankings brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Our first look at these rankings, Dave, this season.
Yeah, Clemson sitting there at number 4. You're excited about that. The defending national champion has an opportunity. Big game against NC State today. And how about Miami, Virginia Tech at the 10 and 13 spots? Those two teams trying to fight their way up near the top 4. They play each other tonight as well.
We saw that Virginia Tech defense last week, albeit in the rain in Blacksburg, but they were very strong against Duke. And Miami, how many more close games could they win, Dave? Their last 4 by an average of 4.5 points in victory.
Yeah, what'd you think about Georgia jumping over Alabama? I know there's some people in Tuscaloosa who weren't overly happy about that.
I'll just say it's the first time those rankings have come out, Dave. There's plenty of time to decide who the top 4 teams will be, and it's going to change as the weeks go on.
Dungy still remains on the sideline, a big-timer quarterback for Syracuse, and it's Zach Mahoney's team right now. I think he's played well. He's thrown the ball very accurately. The thing that he doesn't have that Dungy brings to the table is the impromptu run. Remember, you just taken your #1 rusher off the field if you're Syracuse with Dungy on the sideline.
Dungy left after the first offensive series for the Orange. They were taping up his right ankle. Mahoney's pass completed to 10. That's Steve Ishmael. Best in the conference, Dave, over 8 catches per game for Ishmael.
And Tom, Ishmael playing in the slot. We've seen predominantly him outside. He's playing some slot now and is doing a nice job of getting inside the defender.
On 3rd down, through the fingertips of the intended receiver, Moneill.
Man, just a poor throw by Mahoney. He's got Neal in the zone. The running back finds the hole in between the defenders. Watch him hook it up right now. Ball's got to be on him. And boy, very fortunate that that tip ball didn't end up in the hands of a defender. Taylor, the closest defender for Florida State.
Mahoney 4 of 8 through the air, 29 yards. And now Matthews is back for this punt from Sterling Hoffrichter. Sophomore punter for the Orange, but he's 3 yards deep in his own end zone.
Well, you see different phases of the game service. You get the great punt. Now Florida State's defense gets a stop. Opportunity for a short field here for Florida State's offense.
DJ Matthews wants a fair catch. And right near the 45, he'll make it successfully. 4.6 seconds on the hang time. 44 yards on the orange punt. The state capitol here in Tallahassee. And we're coming right back to Doak Campbell Stadium.
ACC football is being brought to you by New York Life. With the right guidance, everyone can be good at life. By Coyote Tractor. By Hardee's. And by your local Toyota dealers. Toyota, let's go places.
So many monuments around campus and around the stadium. That's the unconquered statue. 19 feet tall bronze statue depicting Osceola and Renegade. We saw that prior to the game. It's the 6th different Appaloosa horse. A great tradition, planting a spear. Akers made a move. Akers down the sideline, trying to accelerate away from the orange. Touchdown, Cam Akers.
And we talked about shoes to fill, and we know Dalvin Cook's moved on. Did that not look like Dalvin Cook right there? Made Paris Bennett one of the best tacklers in the conference miss, and then the speed down the sideline by the freshman as he shoves it in the end zone. Only his 2nd rushing touchdown of the year, but what a big one that was. Taking a look, he stayed in bounds. He did. Nice job by Cam Akers.
Play is under review. If it stands, it's the 2nd rushing touchdown of the season for Cam Akers.
Clinton, Mississippi native, Tom. Boy, God had an outstanding career. Senior rush for 2,100 yards and 34 touchdowns at Clinton High School. And you can see he clearly stays in bounds all the way down the line. Tight ropes it down the sideline. You know, you're inevitably going to be compared to guys. One guy is on the wall here at Doak Campbell, and that's Warwick Dunn, the great Warwick Dunn. Of course, Dalvin Cook at some point will be up there. He's the all-time leading rusher here. But that was a Cam Akers run. Let's not call it a Dalvin Cook run. That's a Cam Akers run. Big-time play.
Gary Patterson confirms things. A touchdown for Cam Akers, 54 yards, his longest run of the season. 2nd rushing touchdown of the year for Cam Akers. Dave, a drive on 1 play, 11 seconds, 13-0, extra point pending for the Noles.
Florida State has struck twice from deep. This time it's their top running back and the freshman, Cam Akers, shoves it in the end zone.
The ACC Network, an exclusive production of Raycom Sports. Our coverage of ACC football being broadcast on AFN, the American Forces Network. We welcome the men and women of the U.S. Army, Air Force, Navy, Coast Guard, and Marines stationed around the globe in 175 countries and on the high seas. So proud to have you with us. We hope you're enjoying the broadcast. Akers. Touchdown run to go along with a long touchdown strike for Florida State as we go to Charlotte.
Coming up later tonight in prime time for our Hardee's update, Virginia Tech taking on Miami.
There go the Hokies. They're bringing that lunch pail as well as likely freshman of the year Josh Jackson into Hard Rock Stadium, where the Hokies have only won 2 of the last 4. Canes also have the nation's longest win streak, 12 in a row, going to determine what happens in the Coastal.
That one kicks off at 8 p.m. in Hard Rock Stadium. For now, back to you guys.
Boy, 2 salty defenses, especially the front 7 for both Miami and for Virginia Tech going head-to-head. That's going to be a good one.
Strickland got around that corner for the Orange and out of bounds. 33-yard line, Dave, and an 8-yard pickup for Strickland.
Well, Tom, this is a very similar start for Dino Babers' team again. We talked about the key for them was a fast start. They didn't get it. So now Zach Mahoney going to have to settle in. He's an outstanding passer. Got to sprinkle the ball around just like that. Get his big-time receivers, Phillips and Ishmael, the ball.
That's up to the 38-yard line to Ishmael, who is second in the nation with 8.3 catches per game, 5 yards on that grab by Ishmael.
Yeah, Florida State just playing zone coverage, and they're challenging Syracuse to throw the ball in the holes, taking away the run game.
Strickland ridden to the turf. Jalen Wilkerson made the tackle for Florida State.
Yeah, what Florida State's saying is you're not running the ball on us. And now with your leading rusher quarterback out of the game, you're not going to run the ball at all against us, and we're going to play zone and see if you can make throws.
Mahoney knocked away from Ishmael. Stanford Samuels.
Well, there's Charles Kelly, defensive coordinator. Talked to Charles yesterday. They're under the gun on defense a little bit. This was the veteran side of the team coming into the season, and last week left a bad taste in Seminole fans' mouths.
3 for 7 on third down, screen pass. Florida State has them fenced in. Strickland nowhere to go. 4th down Orange. Loss of 5.
Oh, what a nice job defensively. This is gang tackling now. It's screen, 3-count screen. Excellent job. Shock when you look at the way Florida State's throwing the ball. A lot of hats to the football right now.
Tons of hats to the football. When I talked to Dermot earlier this week, I asked him about this defense and how they haven't played up to par. He said, we have not played Florida State style of flying around, hitting your mouth type of defense. And guys haven't been doing the little things like you talked about in the open, being accountable all the way around for 4 quarters. And those first 2 quarters, they've done that.
They sure have.
Fair catch made for 20 by DJ Matthews. Duke Energy presents a look at the ACC standings, Dave.
Well, NC State Clemson getting ready to tie it up here in about a couple hours. Those two are going to go head-to-head in Raleigh. Boston College has had a nice resurgence there. You're Syracuse. You see them sitting there in the middle of the pack. And, of course, the top 2 are going to tangle at Hard Rock Stadium in South Florida. Miami takes on Virginia Tech. That'll be a fun game to watch. Virginia and Georgia Tech playing each other just below those two, playing each other today as well.
Yeah, Dave, should Miami win and Virginia lose, Miami would earn the spot in the ACC championship game December 2nd. And amazingly, it's the 13th edition of that game. It would be the first time that the Canes participate in that championship.
Yeah, and technically they won the side once before, but with the self-imposed ban on postseason play, they did not go. But you're right. That's kind of what a lot of people thought when they created this ACC championship, that Miami would be there a lot. This would be their first trip if they can find a way to win their way there. Good job on first down, Tom, that time by this defense. This is what you need to do, is put the young quarterback in the long yardage situations.
James Blackman at quarterback for the Noles. Akers. 3 and 4 orange helmets around Akers. Yeah, only one.
Good tackling on the perimeter, trying to stretch Syracuse. Can they run to the football? Excellent job of getting to the ball and getting Akers on the ground. And so now here you go. You got it at 3rd and 8. This is where this defense has flourished. Number 2 in the country on third down defenses. Eric Dungy checking in and talking with Dino Babers. Begging to try to get back in the game. It's Eric Dungy right now talking to his coach.
0 for 2 on third down for Florida State. Dungy's been in and out of that locker room for the Orange a couple of times here in the first half after playing in the first series for Syracuse and then having to leave the game. Pressure coming from the edges. Blackman lets it go. It's way too far and into that Syracuse bench area looking for Gavin.
Can you get in 3rd and long? Now you can put pressure on. It looks like Thomas, the linebacker, is going to come clean. Number 23 kind of forced the quick throw from Blackman, and he has to throw the ball away. Excellent series of downs defensively for Syracuse.
First 3 and out for Jimbo Fisher's team. Quick chat with Gavin.
Yeah, that's not a chat that Gavin necessarily is excited about either. Must have blown an assignment there. Give his quarterback an outlet on the throw.
Logan Tyler to punt. Sean Riley standing at his 34-yard line to receive this punt. Tyler gets a good piece of this one, driving Riley back to the 24, and a fair catch. 4.5 seconds of hang time. 54 yards on the punt for Logan Tyler. Tailgating here in Tallahassee. grab something to eat, and we'll be back right after a word from your local ACC station. Have you downloaded ACC QB Challenge presented by Coyote Tractor? It's a free download. The ACC football game puts your passing skills to the test. Play as your favorite ACC team. And check out the fun practice modes. Eric Dungey back into the game. Wants to unload it. Into double coverage, deflected, and incomplete. Both teams had a chance at that one. Ishmael running with Taylor and James.
Boy, he tried to tip it to himself, Tom. This is a ball that Florida State plays extremely well. They just don't bat it down or come up with the interception. See, he leads him with the left hand and tip it to himself, and he almost came up with it again. But pretty good coverage out there. Florida State making sure they've got a couple players around Ishmael. Big timer for Syracuse.
So Eric Dungey's come back into the game, his first action since the first series for the Orange in the first quarter. Derwin James already has an interception, that in the first quarter, his first of the year. Second down for Dungey. Wants to pass again. Scrambles out of that pocket and gets rid of it.
That's certainly not what they wanted to have happen. They'd like to have had a rhythm throw right there where Dungey didn't have to test that foot that's been taped 2 or 3 times. But here, good coverage down the field by the Seminoles. They force him off the spot, and just for good measure, going to dive at that foot if you're a Florida State defender. Make sure he's dancing out of bounds. So 3rd and long again for Syracuse.
3 of 8 for the Orange on 3rd down.
Hey, you're looking at Phillips right here and Ishmael right there. Those are the 2 big timers.
5 receivers to choose from for Dungey. Goes over the middle. Ishmael, very capable hands. The pass on schedule. McFadden made the tackle, but they got 21 on the play.
Again, this is the matchup you're looking for. It's McFadden and Ishmael. McFadden, the All-American from a year ago, 8 interceptions. Ishmael wins to the inside. Excellent throw.
Dungey, all kinds of time. Has to break away and rolls up near the 50.
Now, we talked about in the beginning about Dungey, and what is it that kind of sticks out? Yeah, he's got all the measurables, the skills. The guy's tough. A tough guy. This guy's fought through a lot of injuries at Syracuse. Had some concussion issues. He's added 15 pounds of muscle to the body. Jimbo Fisher, big fan of this guy. He says this guy is as tough as they come.
Second in the conference in total offense. 338 yards per game for Dungey. This pass stops at midfield to Pierce. Only 1 there.
Now shovel to the inside, and Marshall does an excellent job of shadowing. This is kind of a shovel pass back to the inside, but Florida State just stays at home. They're right where they're supposed to be. Excellent job by Florida State to take care of their business, read their keys, be where they're supposed to be. That's some of the things that Charles Kelly talked about, is this Florida State defense been close, but they just haven't been doing the little things, like taking care of their own job. Be where you're supposed to be. They did it there.
Dungey found Ishmael to convert the last 3rd down. This 3rd and 6. Monil comes up about 3 yards short. Needed to get to the 45 of Florida State from Monil, the sophomore from Gastonia, North Carolina.
Now you run the ball there if you're considering going for it on 4th down. That's certainly what Syracuse is looking to do here.
Have gone for it on 4th down, but decided a little pooch punt from Mahoney. This time should be a legitimate attempt on 4th down for the Orange.
Florida State showing zone coverage.
They make it 64% of the time. Dungey, wide open man, complete. Jamal Custis was wide open, and he just rolls into the end zone for an Orange touchdown.
Boy, a blown coverage by Florida State. The motion by the back out of the backfield causes some indecision in the secondary. Custis comes clean. Back motioned out to the right. Uncovered Custis. Custis was more in the slot. Nobody accounted for him vertically right up the field shot. Custis, big play, blown opportunity, and a nice job by Dungey to find it.
And you talk about the blown coverage there. As the motion came out, you saw it. It was zone coverage, but Derwin was yelling towards the backer to get out. And once he got out there, he caught his eyes in the backfield. By that time, the receiver was running full speed and it's a touchdown.
Dave Archer, 47 yards on the pass play. Dungey to Custis.
4th down for Syracuse. They got their big-time quarterback in the game. He reads coverage, and Custis pulls it within a score.